Okay, so this video is going to show you how to change your IOs, okay, effectively. I'm going to launch Pro Tools. Now the IO setups are saved with your session, so first you have to open your session and then switch your IOs, so you can't do it without the session being open. It's always saved with the session. And i.e. that's why when you open up a session and it has a different set of IOs, it kind of freaks out, obviously, because it doesn't match the IO setup that is, currently available for the system. So we're going to open up your session. This is it here, right? Is that it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, A side. Hit OK, and let's go ahead and launch it. Now this also too will pertain to any system. So it doesn't matter whether you're going from here to the B room, from the B room to Penny Creek, from Penny Creek to the A room here, or to any other system, this will work. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that all tracks are visible. And right now you can see you have one that's hidden. This little gray dot, signifies that. So I'm just going to go to this pop down and go show all tracks. Okay? And even if they're inactive, that's fine, but you need to be able to see them all. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is when you do this, you're going to lose all this pan information. Okay, so you're going to have to go back through and set up your pans again, okay, unfortunately. But that's just the way it goes. So the first thing you're going to do is get rid of all of the inputs by holding the Option key down, clicking on one of these and selecting No Input. And you're going to see you're going to have no inputs on any tracks at that point. You're going to hold down the Option key and select No Output for all the tracks, right? Now you're going to notice too that all the tracks went to no output except for the mix bus, right? On that one you have to change individually. Anytime you have a master fader, it has to be deselected by itself. Then you have to get rid of any sins. And so holding the Option key again, I'm going to select the little arrow and go to No Sin, and it's going to get rid of all the sins on that row. Now if you had any sins on any of the other rows, it would be the same thing. And you also might need to unhide the second row of sins, right? Because right now we're only looking at A through E sins, but there is an F through J sins. Now you don't have any sins there, but you might just check it to make sure because you can't have any for it to work right, okay? And I'm going to show you why that is in a minute. So I just hid those again. Okay, so now we have no inputs, no outputs, and no sins. So we aren't using any buses right now whatsoever in our entire system. Then you go up to the Setups menu, you go to IOs, and what we're now going to do is import settings, okay? But you import settings individually for each one of these tabs, okay? And we're going to do it in order. So the first one we're going to do is Input. And then we're going to select Import Settings, and we're going to use the A room. Now, if you're in the B room, then use the B room, and if you're at Penny Creek, use the one for PCS, right? And it might be called A room there too, but so forth and so on. Use the one that's been set up because we've saved an IO settings that's appropriate for this room, okay? So then hit Open, right? Now this is the reason why we just got rid of all your inputs and outputs. It's saying, do you want to delete the existing unused paths? And of course we made them all unused so that we can hit yes here and delete all the old ones so that all we have left are the new ones. Okay? Otherwise they're going to overlap and you're going to have a bunch of weird ones in there. Okay? So yes is the answer, delete them. And then we're going to go to Output, Import Settings, A room again, the exact same file, but now we're importing the outputs. Hit yes, delete. Then you're going to switch to Buses, Import Settings, A room, right? Yes. And then we are going to go to Inserts, Import Settings, A room. Okay? Yes, delete. Okay? And that's it. You hit OK. And now you're going to see all your inputs are exactly set up for this room. All your outputs are set up appropriately for this space as well. And so now I'm going to hold the Option key down again and switch all my outputs to Mix. All right? And then I'm going to set up the master fader we have to the mix bus, because remember, it has to be done separately. And after that, you're ready to roll. Oh, I got to save this. A room, skidoo A side, I guess. We'll call this 3. I'm just resaving the session. Okay, and you know, from here, you go to town and start playing. So that is generally it. Now you have new IOs, and of course now you don't have any inputs set up, but then you just select the input that you want when you do that. Now, if you have to move to the B room, you just redo this process. Now, the only downside is that you lose your pan information. But you know, you could always mark down here if you wanted to what your pan was, what percentage your pan was at any track, and then of course you could just reset that up too. It is very handy to have the proper I/O setups in there, because otherwise it's like running blind a little bit and pretty tough.
Yeah.
Okay, well, very cool. That is it.